Atlas in the
Yes.
hot seat tonight.
And Atlas.
Goes by the name of Atlas the Bookkeeper. How you feeling, my friend?
So everyone, yeah, the last few years, there's been demand for me to branch out and do different kinds of content. And I've tried some. I've tried reacting content, correct? Now I'm trying collabs and interviews and the like. I'm trying various different styles of content. I feel like some of it has worked to some extent. Some of it is not, okay? Some of it I'm trying to redo or re-explore because it worked for a couple of years and now it's not anymore, right? But in regards to politics, this has always been something that I have stayed out of. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a politically outspoken guy in my content. I don't bring it up in my gameplay or my streams. Every once in a while, there'll be a topic that I feel like I have to bring up or talk about, and it's fine, but for the most part, I leave it out. Why? Because I've told you guys, I feel like my content is kind of escapist content. If you're coming to my channel to enjoy a game, you don't want to be lambasted and attacked with real-life stuff that's going on outside of my streams of the game, right? You didn't come to DSP Gaming to hear about some local government issue that's happening out here and hear me bitch about it like a whiner, right? You don't want to hear about me complaining about who just got elected president or whatever, right? You're here to enjoy the game. I get it. Me too. Like, that's been the enjoyable part of my content for all of these years. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time that I've been doing this kind of content. But I understand that if I am going to continue to be relevant on the internet and I'm going to continue to have an audience that likes me and will support, I have to evolve, okay? And you guys have been asking me for years for political content. But the line that I've always danced on here is, how do you do it? Because I have long-standing viewers and fans that absolutely positively don't want anything to do with politics. They just want to be here for games, or they want to chill with me on a podcast or have a fun Q&A. And I am down for that, 1,000,000%. I really am. I don't want people who have no interest in these topics to then be inundated with them and have the content spoiled. To be honest, these last few months, three and a half months now, where my content has changed a bit, because now I'm talking a little bit of drama every once in a while. I'm doing stuff with Kino Casino, and they're, you know, let's be honest, they're drama guys, right? And people are, oh, now your content has changed. Well, no, in reality, it hasn't. I'm still playing games. I'm still having fun. That stuff hasn't changed, correct? But admittedly, there's different stuff that we're doing now that I never did before. I mean, this gaming PC has been a godsend, not only for games, but I can now watch videos, do other content and stuff that I wasn't able to do with my old setup. And it's working really well in that regard, I believe. So thank you for that. And thanks for all the help and everything. So let's talk, because here's the deal. We just had a ginormous election. The election is now over. The results are in. Undeniable. Change is coming. And I think this would be an excellent time, hi Jasper Kitty, for me to begin with new projects and new kinds of content. How could I possibly do this? How could I tackle political topics, all right, but not have it negatively affect my gameplay? How could I have a show where I'm honest and I open up with an interactive audience and talk about my feelings, my leanings, my beliefs, without having that permeate into gameplay or take up too much time from gameplay? Because I'm going to be honest here. I am not going to jump head in. I'm not going to do a full flip. For example, Side Scrollers. Side Scrollers was brought back in 2023 as a gaming podcast and pop culture, and it failed miserably. It was not entertaining. No one liked it. The show failed. And so they basically turned it into 100% a flip into political drama. Incredibly right-leaning political drama, that is. And it worked because of what's been going on in American politics. I truly feel that if what was happening wasn't happening, the show wouldn't have been a success. It's just that that was the topic everyone wanted to talk about, and they leaned right the fuck into it, right? That's not what I'm going to do. It's not going to be, oh, Phil's dropping everything that he's ever wanted to do and was successful at and is going to do all politics, okay? What I want to do is I want to maintain a schedule of me playing games regularly, doing this podcast, but I want to have politics become a slowly, you know, leaning into it, all right? So how can that happen? Well, there's a couple things that I kind of came up with that I want to talk with you guys today. I'm curious on everyone's opinion on this. As you know, first of all, I've started co-streaming on Kick. It's not just me streaming on DSP Gaming anymore or on YouTube, but I have DSP Gaming Real, my channel on Kick where I'm streaming, and I've streamed out there for about a month. Have I gotten traction? Not really. I really feel like the audience on Kick, a lot of them were people who would have been on YouTube regardless, and they just moved over to Kick instead. I do believe that there are some new viewers on Kick, just not a ton. Like, my streams on average are getting around, 40 viewers, something like that, right? Now, that's not a great audience. But at the same time, if I were to just completely drop streaming on YouTube and say I'm only streaming on Kick, I bet you I would get several hundred viewers a stream, if not more. Just being honest. I think right now it's my audience is pulled and torn between the two, right? So, here's the deal. If I'm going to do politics, I'm not going to live stream it on YouTube. I feel like the place to be for politics would be Kick. That would be the place where I can kind of be open and honest, right? I don't have to worry about crap going down with, oh, Phil said something and now people, oh my God. Instead, I can just be open and honest about my feelings about politics over there. All right? So if I'm going to do a live stream about politics, it's 100% going to be exclusively live streamed on Kick.com. And yes, it will be on my channel, the DSP Gaming Real channel. Okay? So there you go. And here's the thing. People are saying, well, I wouldn't make a Kick account, but I would still watch. Maybe I would contribute via a tip. You can do that. You don't have to make an account to watch someone on Kick. You can just watch the stream raw. And then if you want to talk, you're absolutely right. You don't have to do subs or gifted subs. You could send a tip. The tips will always be open. So you don't have to contribute. A lot of people don't like Kick. They're like, Kick is, it's what do they call it? It's like Bitcoin currency and gambling. And I don't like supporting that. You don't have to. You can tip me directly via PayPal, and we could do it that way. I'm glad Playcool said it right there. That was the perfect time to bring it up. It absolutely would work there. Okay, that would be fine. So, right off the bat, guess what? If I'm doing purely political streams on Kick, I think that's going to boost my attention on Kick. I haven't talked about this recently, but the reason that I haven't gone forward on Kick with things like verification or being in their major high-end partner program, I don't have enough viewers. You need to have, I think it's an average of like 100 viewers. It's either 100 or like 70, 80. You need a good amount of average viewers on your streams on Kick to qualify. I don't qualify because my audience is torn. If I only streamed on Kick, I absolutely would qualify overnight. But I don't only stream on Kick. And because of that, most people are still watching me on YouTube. Okay? So, politics content to be live streamed would be exclusive streams on my Kick channel. Okay, you can still watch. You don't have to register for Kick. You certainly don't have to support Kick. You could always send a tip or whatever during one of those streams. But to be frank, I do feel that streaming on Kick with politics-style content would work. All right? Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you this. I don't think it would make sense for me to do those kind of streams on nights when Kino Casino is live. Because I feel like it would kind of be competition. And I don't think it would benefit either of us. So what I might have to do is kind of figure out with those guys, like, what's their schedule like? And, do they have plans for certain nights or whatever? And then I could plan my political streams around the nights that they're not broadcasting. Because as you know, I broadcast more than they do, right? I'm here usually 6 days a week. There will be some weeks when it's only 5. But I'm broadcasting a ton, right? So maybe I have to coordinate it so I'm not biting into their audience. And, that way people can enjoy both streams and not have to be like, oh, who do I choose tonight? Okay? So, there you go. Now, here's the deal. Let's say the political content is streamed exclusively on Kick, but you can't catch the Kick stream. Darn, I can't make it. Well, when can you actually watch it? Well, Kick does archive streams. How long is it, actually? Does anyone know how long Kick will archive a stream? Let me take a look. But here's my idea. Live stream on Kick exclusively political content. Leave the archives there so people can check them after the fact. Don't compete with Kino Casino. Let them do their thing. And the nights that they're not streaming, that would be one of the nights I pick to do my politics stuff. And clip the best moments and upload those to YouTube. That way, if you're totally against Kick, you want nothing to do with Kick whatsoever, you don't have to go over there. I will highlight some of the best moments, discussions, and topics as clips. just like I've been doing on this channel, I've been clipping from the podcast, from gameplay. I even just did a clip from the React show, and I make it the stream highlights on this channel. I would do the same thing for the political content that I'm doing over on Kick. However, it will not be on DSP Gaming. Okay? It will not be DSP Gaming. It will be on DSP Reacts, because it makes sense, because I'm retiring my show. There will not be 5 videos a week on DSP Reacts anymore from the clip show. Instead, what I can do is take my politics show and I can do several highlights from the show and release them as clips on DSP Reacts over the course of the week. So if you missed the live stream, you go to DSP Reacts and you can catch all the highlights and clips over the course of a given week. Okay? You might say, well, I don't get it. Why DSP Reacts? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, because I need content for the channel. Since now the clip show is retiring, you're going to want to see more than just one video a week of me eating food as a reward for hitting the goal streak, right? So this will give some content for DSP Reacts over the week. Number two, DSP Reacts is already monetized, meaning anything I upload to that channel will get ads on it. I have the ability to get, paid memberships on that channel. All of that's available. As opposed to if I were to make a new channel, let's say I were to start a whole new channel on YouTube called DS Politics, right? Guess what? I'd have to start from scratch. I'd have to start building a subscriber base. I'd have to start building a viewer base. I'd have to start building back to get people to watch content on it. And that's going to be a major pain in the ass. Okay? It's going to take a while. I don't really have the clout or the viewership that I used to. It's not like overnight I could snap my fingers and be like, monetize this channel, YouTube. It might take months. Now, do I really want to be streaming political content for months and not making anything on it on YouTube at all because I'm trying to build a new channel up? No. All right? Now, there is one downside to everything that I have just talked about. There's one big downside to it. DSP Reacts is a very old YouTube channel. Before it was DSP Reacts, it was my old vlogging channel, which used to be called like the King of Hate Vlogs. And that channel existed for like a decade. All right? So the channel already has a track record and a history. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think that that channel is ever going to show up in the YouTube algorithm at all. I think that channel, because it's old, basically doesn't show up. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, the only thing I can think of would be to make a new channel, but then the channel would not be monetized for probably like 6 months of work. And I don't think that makes sense. So I think doing it like this is the right way to do it for now. Maybe if I can build up an audience for the political stuff and people want it, then I can say, hey, we can make a new channel. But I don't even know if it's going to work. Let's be honest, right? So rather than do all this work into designing a new channel, building a new channel, trying to get everyone to subscribe to the channel, I think I'm just going to leave it as DSP Reacts, and I'm going to put the political highlights in a playlist there. It'll even be, say, like DS Politics Highlights. And so you'll get a few clips a week from the fun topics and interesting things that we're discussing on the political show. I think that would make sense, okay? Now, here's the other thing, too. You realize that if I'm doing a politics show, and I do it, let's say I do it for a bit and it works, I can actually get guests. Politics, everyone wants to chime in. So I could see if I can get people from all over the place to kind of come in and talk their political thoughts on the show. I think that would be pretty neat. But that's probably something for long term. That's not something that's going to happen overnight. At first, I got to get established that I'm doing political content that people are enjoying, and then maybe I can get guests for the show. Do you understand? So, and that's the thing. So someone just said, why don't you rename DSP Reacts to DS Politics? Because the whole channel isn't going to be politics. I'm still going to be doing things like DSP Tries It weekly, and that's not politics. I'm still planning on doing long-form React content on the channel. We're still going to have that discussion. We still got to talk about it and figure it out. Okay? So, yeah, once all this is figured out, then we can go one step further. But I feel like the best way for me to hit the ground running with the political stuff would be maybe once a week, an exclusive night stream on Kick That's politics. We could even call it hashtag DS Politics of the Week. We have a fun 2 to 2.5 hour open discussion. I'll talk about topics. We'll watch news stories together. We'll talk about it live on stream. And then I clip that show up in highlights and I upload those highlights to DSP Reacts. And we see what happens. Do people show up? Do people engage and support this show? Or is it a whole flop? And you know what? If it's a flop, who cares? No big deal, right? And I'll tell you right now, the first topic that I want to discuss as part of DSP Politics, or DS Politics, excuse me, is what just happened in that U.S. presidential election. Why did the American people vote red over blue? What happened? Because it sure seemed like in the mainstream media and in all of culture, everyone was saying no one liked Trump. Trump is an evil dude. He's Hitler. He's a convicted felon. So how did he just win the presidency? That's the first topic that I want to discuss as part of DS Politics. And I think that's going to be a great opening topic to start the show running. And then we can go from there.